Morning, everyone. Welcome all of you to the Language Lab class. In Language Lab class, we are discussing various topics of language, basically from English grammar. So we have already discussed few topics from English grammar. So we are moving forward to other topics. So I hope you understand whatever we have discussed. So in the last class, we have discussed preposition. So what does a preposition do? Preposition plays it establish some relationship with other words in the sentence between nouns. Suppose what we discussed, that it tells you about when and where. So suppose you were asking that where is the, so your my answer will be my book is on the table. So preposition is the on. So it tells you that where is the book. So it establish one relationship. Okay, so this is the main role of preposition, and but uh, like except this also, preposition uh, preposition do some other roles, like despite of there are some uh, double preposition, there are some conjugate preposition. So lot of preposition are there. So they play various roles. So we have already discussed that. So in today's class, we are going to discuss about some other topic, that is participle and gerund. So no problem. Two students have joined just now. So I will repeat preposition for some time. Then I will move towards participle and gerund. So we discussed this. So it indicates a relationship between other words in sentence, and many prepositions tell you where something is or when something happened. So more prepositions have several definitions also, and they changes quite a bit in different contexts. So ending sentence with preposition is not a grammatical error. Okay, now this was like for fun, like where is a preposition? What is a preposition? Suppose I'm asking you that vampires, zombies, werewolves, where? So my question answer will be behind you. So thank goodness for preposition. Uh, if you don't know the prepositions, you cannot answer where they are. Where is the danger? Okay. Hello, Kishan, Savitri. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello, Kishan. Kishan Kumar, Savitri. Am I audible? Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Savitri, you are from which college?
Yes, ma'am.
You are from which university, Kishan and Savitri?
Yes.
Sorry?
Raigad or Ignan Kumar. Raigad, ma'am.
So, do you know about preposition?
जी सर, हाँ बताएं.
I'm asking, do you know about preposition?
No, ma'am.
No, you don't know about preposition. You haven't read in school. So, suppose I am writing this sentence. The dog hid under the table. Can you tell me what is the preposition in the sentence? Hello, Savitri. Can you tell me what is the preposition in the sentence? Hello. Please communicate. If you are in the class, please communicate. Otherwise, you cannot learn. So no point of just staying like switching off the video and like keeping your microphone off. No point of that. Hello. I'll not move forward if you don't answer. Hello, Rishabh, who joined just now. Hello, Rishabh Deo Pandey. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, you are from which university?
Good morning.
Sorry.
Ma'am, actually, that is called Chaitanya College,
Okay,
Chhattisgarh,
good.
Jangir
So we are
Champa
discussing
district.
preposition here. Okay, that's okay. So I'm asking, see the look at the last sentence, the dog hid under the table. So what is the preposition here?
Which sentence, ma'am?
Last one, the dog hid under the table.
Under.
Yes, under. Okay, Savitri, please unmute yourself. We saw a movie at the theater. What is the preposition here?
At.
Very good. And we have been walking since the morning. What is the preposition?
Since.
Good. Okay, Savitri, can you hear me? No response. Did you hear that what Rishabh said? Did you hear the answer?
क्वेश्चन क्या है सर समझ नहीं आ रहा है
तुमने आंसर सुना क्या ऋषभ ने जो बोला?
जी मैम
अच्छा, तो प्रीपोजिशन समझ में आया क्या होता है? प्रीपोजिशन टेल्स यू क्या रिलेशन है दो वर्ड के बीच.
जी मैम
तो इसमें प्रीपोजिशन कौन सा है? द डॉग हिड अंडर द टेबल.
क्वेश्चन क्या है सर अच्छा सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है क्वेश्चन क्या है
Don't know. Okay, no problem. So sometimes you can end your sentence with preposition also. It's not a grammatical error. And like we discussed this preposition, simple preposition, double preposition, compound preposition, participle, disguised, detached, preposition of time, preposition of place and direction, preposition of agents or things, and phrasal prepositions. So these are some prepositions which we use in most of the sentence, but, at, to, on, in, for, of, during, down, all these prepositions. So what is double preposition? Two simple prepositions joining together to form one which connects the nouns to all pronouns. That is double preposition. Like, are you out of your mind? This is double preposition because you can see two prepositions are used together, out and off. Inside, of, in between. These are double preposition. So compound preposition, example, on behalf of, with a view to, according to. These are compound preposition. Okay. Okay. So he started working at 10 a.m. So at is the preposition. So it tells us about the time. The company called meeting on 25th October. So it tells about the date. So that's why on. There is a holiday in December. So December is a month. That's why in. He has been ill since Monday. So since is the preposition. So preposition of place and direction. We discussed that on, at, in, by, from. These are some preposition which tells us about some place and direction. So you cannot learn preposition in one class. You have to practice, but we don't have that time. You can practice. I'm just giving you a like introduction, you can say. Okay, so today's topic is participle and gerund. So what is participle and gerund? Do you have any idea? Anyone has any idea what is participle and gerund? Yes or no? So what is participle? See, I really disliked it while you were in the class and you were not communicating. So you have to interact in the class. Otherwise, it's like no point of being there. If you are in the class, please communicate. So that you can also learn. I can also understand how much you are learning.
Okay. Ma'am, actually students are hesitating, and the time is different. Actually, time is uh, um, collapsing, ma'am. Actually,
See,
this is time for
that's
other class.
okay. If the time collapse
We would like
also,
to, yes, sir. We would like to see my recorded video after this
recording is
class.
available in the YouTube. No, that's not a
Yes,
problem.
yes.
But like I also have more classes, so I cannot conduct every class at your convenient time. That's the problem.
Okay, okay, okay,
So
ma'am.
what is
You
it?
can,
Yeah. So what
carry
is the
on.
definition of participle? So word having the characteristic of both verb and adjective, especially an English verbal form that has the function of an adjective and at the same time shows verbal features as tense and voice and capacity to take an object in the finished product. So the word finished is a participle form from the verb finish. Now, participle is basically when you are adding ing or ed with the verb. So it is playing both the verb and the role of adjective. Two roles they are playing together. So here in the sentence, finished product. What happened? Finish is a verb, right? Now we are adding ed with the main verb. When you are adding ed with the main verb, it is converted into past participle. Finished product. When you are adding this finished before the noun, it tells you about the quality of the product. What product is it? Is it a new product? Is it an old product? Is it a finished product? Okay. So this is called participle when you are adding ed or ing with the verb and you're using that before the noun. Okay. Now we are discussing two things, participle and gerund. So both are more or less same, but there is some difference. So what is gerund? Gerund is a verb that acts like a noun. By that we mean that the verb, the word that describes the action that's happening, like biking, thinking, running, speaking, becomes a thing, concept that can now be the sentence subject, direct subject, indirect object, or the object of a preposition. What is gerund? In gerund also we are adding ing with the word. But now that verb is becoming the noun or it can be the subject of a sentence. Suppose you cannot, when you are writing a sentence, suppose I am a girl. Am I a girl? You cannot write like this. If you write like am I a girl, the sentence meaning is changing. It is turning into question form. So if you start the sentence like biking is my favorite thing. So biking is a subject here and it is a noun. So it is called gerund because we have added ing with the noun. So it doesn't stop being a verb, but the role it plays a sentence shifts from describing the action to being a focal point. So it is not like doesn't stop being a verb, but the role it plays in a sentence, it shifts from describing the action to being a focal point. So it's basically it's shifting its action towards the noun. So here are two examples. Like as a food blogger, eating is an involved production for Shoshana. So eating, it's not a verb here, it's a subject here. So and it has like used as a noun. Fazal turned off his phone and shut the door so he could focus on studying. Here also studying, var plus ing. So it is jiran, it is noun. So jiran acts as the noun and participle acts as the adjective. Is it clear what I said? I said jiran acts as the noun
Yes, sir.
and participle acts as an adjective. Okay? Okay. Now we are again coming towards participle. Now English verbs can take several basic forms which we call their principal parts, the infinitive and past tense, the past participle. The English verbs have some basic forms like the main form, past tense, past participle, and also infinitive. Infinitive is what when you are adding to before the verb. So when you are adding to before the verb, you cannot change the form. So you have to keep the form unchanged, like to move, to speak. Okay. And past tense is different for different verbs, and past participle is also different for different verbs. So the participles are words that take part in two different word class. That is, they are verb forms that can also act like adjectives. The spoken word, a moving experience. So participle is, we discussed that they are like acting as the adjective and also their verb form, the spoken. Spoken is the past participle form of the verb of speak. If I ask you, what is the past form of speak? Speak, spoke, spoken. Do, did, done. This way the form changes. So, spoken words. Spoken is the participle and it is placed before the word. So, spoken is the adjective here. Moving experience. Moving is the adjective here. A grammatical error called a dangling participle occurs when a clause begins with a participle that doesn't modify the subject. In the sentence, climbing the mountain, the cabin came in view. For example, dangling, okay. So when there is a grammatical error, that is called dangling participle. So when a clause begins with a participle that doesn't modify the subject, like climbing the mountain, cabin came in view. For example, climbing is a dangling participle since it doesn't modify cabin. Okay, so climbing is the word, it is a participle, so it is not modifying the word cabin. So when we revise the sentence, to climbing the mountain, the hikers spied a cabin. The participle climbing modifies the subject hikers and is therefore no longer dangling. What is the example of a participle in sentence? The finishing touches or the finished product. Finishing and finished are participles formed from the verb finish. So what we discussed till now, we discussed participle. Participle is the one verb form, you can say, and it is acting as the adjective. Like the finished product, the word finished is the participle form from the verb finish. And what is jiran? Jiran is acting as a noun in a sentence. Like eating is an involved production. eating is also acting as a subject here. So it is jiran. Okay. Now we say that verb has different forms and participle are like one form. So there are some words which are ending with ed or ing. So you have to practice like what is the exact part form of which word. So they are changing according to the word. Now these are the example of participles. Now we are going to types of participles. Is it clear whatever we have discussed till now? If I ask you what is the difference between gerund and participle, what is your answer? What is your answer if I ask you what is the difference between gerund and participle? Savitri, Rishabh, Varsha.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm asking what is the difference between gerund and participle? Do you know? So what are the types of participle according to the most grammar resources? There are two major types of participle, like present and past. So a third type of participle is the perfect participle. It's actually a combination of one specific present participle and a past participle. So let's take a look at each of these types of participle. Like past participle. So right of that past participle can get pretty tricky depending on the verb we're dealing with. So for regular verbs, the past participle is typically formed by adding ed to the end of the root form of the verb. The form you will find if you look up a verb in your dictionary. So I told you there are different past participle forms for different verbs. So even if it is regular verb, there are often exceptions to this general rule, and irregular verbs don't follow the rule at all. So for regular verbs, generally there is a rule like past tense means you have to add ed, but in irregular verbs doesn't follow the rule. So you have to practice. Like eat, past tense is eat, ate, and the past participle is eaten. Okay. So irregular verbs don't follow the rule. Adjectives, what is adjective? You can use a past participle as an adjective to modify a noun. So we are exhausted. So exhausted is the past participle here. So here we have added ed. That is why it is acting as an adjective. So we are exhausted after cleaning up the shed. Participle phrases. A participle phrase is a longer adjectival phrase that uses a participle and other parts of speech to modify a noun. Disgusted by the terrible smell, they put the stinky shoes outside. Perfect verb tense, past participles are used to form 6 perfect verb tense, that is present perfect, past perfect, future perfect, present perfect continuous, past perfect, and future perfect continuous. So adjective you can understand from this sentence. Participle phrase is disgusted by the terrible smell. Perfect verb tense, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 we have discussed in previous classes. Like how to form present perfect and past perfect, like the sheep have jumped, the sheep had already jumped. When it is past perfect, you have to add had, and if it is present, then has. So sheep is a singular, it will be has, not have. If it is plural, then have. So past participle examples: acted, borrowed, talked, mumbled, paused, studied, wondered. And irregular verbs are for, done, gotten, had, written, seen, understood, won. Okay. So we have discussed past participle. So what is present participle? Present participle are easier to handle than past participle. To form the present participle of most verbs, we simply have to add ing. So for example, show, the present participle is showing. Of course, there are some exceptions. The present participle of the verb be is being, B-E-I-N-G. So there are adjectives like she bought a new pair of running shoes. Participle phrases like present participle can be used in participle phrases too. Thinking quickly. Continuous is we are eating, we were eating, we will be eating, we have been eating, we have been eating, and we will have been eating. Okay, these are examples. You just have to add ing. So arriving, biting, carrying, doing, entertaining, flying, all these are. And perfect participles like having studied. And perfect participle example, having asked, having broken, having grown, these. What is participle phrase? So participle phrase is known as participial phrase, is an adjectival phrase. Like she was looking for a man wearing a red cowboy hat. Kenji ate 3 hot dogs slattered in ketchup and mustard. Now, dangling participle is a participle or participle phrase that is either modifying the wrong noun or is modifying a noun that is missing from a sentence. Suppose being the speed with precision, tired of gestures, irritating jokes. So this is not very simple. You have to understand the concept of tense also. So if you don't know the sorry tense, it's not very easy for you to understand. So a recording will be available in the YouTube. You can see. Do you have any query? Okay. So I am ending the class here. So if you cannot understand, you can join next class and we'll discuss it again. Thank you.